right, this the TALIAFERRO TV. How's everybody doing? Y'all know I'm here for all the smoke. I am here for a new Eminem diss album. Pretty much is what I'm calling this bad boy. Eminem released a surprise project last night called Kamikaze, and boy is he giving smoke to everybody that he believes has said anything negative on his name. After Eminem released a project a few months ago that I would say didn't get the critical acclaim that Eminem is used to having, revival. I think a lot of people think Eminem went the pop route. And after that album, it looks like Eminem went back in the studio and was like, all right, y'all say I done got too poppy. I had too many features on my last project, the Ed Sheerans of the world, the Beyoncés of the world. All right, I'm going to go back into and I'm going to go back to what I know. All right, I ain't trying to sell no hits. I ain't trying to sell no records. I ain't trying to do none of that. This is just me rapping better than what most rappers can do on earth. All right, so I haven't went through the entire project, but I did hear this record called Fall. And I don't want to say the lyrics are dated, but they might be dated, right? He gave Joe Budden some shots. You could tell he was giving Joe and Academic some shots off of the Everyday Struggle show. So I would imagine these lyrics were probably wrote a few months ago. He heard Joe Budden, probably on Joe's podcast as well, pretty much be critical of Eminem's album, say that this wasn't it, talk about how the Slaughterhouse crew is dead. Pretty much it's not going to be another project at least involving Joe Budden, and how he was, and Joe was pretty much like, you know, how he was disappointed in M's latest project because it wasn't good. A lot of people said that, but when it's somebody that you signed, I think it hit Eminem a little closer to home. Let's get into these bars on a record called Fall. Eminem, and by the way, today's Joe Budden's birthday. Happy born day, Joe. He got some bars on his birthday. That's how I like it. That's the smoke I'm talking about, M. M said, somebody tell Budden before I snap, he better fasten it or I'll have his body baggage zipped. That's the closest thing he done had to a hit since he was smacking bitches. And don't even make me have to give it back to Academic. Said this shit is trash again. I'll have you twisted like you had it when you thought you had me slipping at the telly. Even when I'm getting brand, you'll never catch me with a thought lacking with it. He ain't even spit it like this in his last shit. Ho, you better go back and listen. And let's give Tyler the Creator some bars too. Since you did call Walk on Water, Eminem's single off the Revival album, since you did call that trash, let's give Tyler the Creator some bars. Later in this record, Eminem said, Tyler created nothing. I see why you called yourself a faggot, bitch. It's not just because you lack attention. It's because you worship D12's balls. You're sacrilegious. If you're going to critique me, you better at least be good or better. Get Earl the Hooded Sweater, whatever his name is, to help you put together some words more than just 2 letters. The fans waited for this moment like that feature when I stole this show. Sorry if I took forever. Eminem is back, ladies and gentlemen, and he's giving smoke to anybody who wants it. You want some smoke? You want some smoke? You want some smoke? Kamikaze in full effect. We're going to talk a little bit more Eminem. He gave some bars to Charlemagne and potentially Drake as well. And again, I'm here for all the smoke today. Thank you, Eminem, for giving us some content to get through the day. Happy born day, Joe Budden. I believe that brother is close. I think he's 39. Happy born day, Joe Budden. And to put in perspective real quick, okay, so Joe's 38. Okay, so Joe's 38 today. Somebody just told me that. So to put in perspective real quick, what I think about Eminem giving Joe some bars, I look at it as bait. And I don't believe Joe's gonna fall into the trap, right? If you respond to Eminem, I think he's already got an entire record for Joe Budden in the chamber. Like, I think it was like just some little bars, some little get me by bars to let you know, I'm here, nigga. If you want this smoke, you can get it. But I think Joe's smart enough to catch that he's too smart an MC and even a media personality to fall for the bait. M is 100% trying to bait Joe Budden into coming out of retirement and beefing with him. It's bait. Are you going to fall for the trap or not? And I don't believe Joe will fall for the trap. But boy, would it be great for hip hop with Joe about to start the show on Revolt, the podcast moving over to Spotify. Boy, would it be great for hip hop to have Joe and Eminem going at it. Because M took a real shot. He talked about him in his domestic disputes that Joe had in his past. So M took a real shot, and I'll be here for M and Joe beef, but I don't think Joe will participate in it in 2018. I find it hard to believe Joe's coming out of retirement, but boy, would it be exciting. Who you got? Eminem versus Joe Budden in 2018. If Joe decided to come out of retirement and respond to the bars that Eminem gave him, Tyler the Creator, Academics, and many more on this album, specifically this record called Fall. I'm out. What up, Pharaohs? I decided to step my game up again. I've created a music reaction Instagram page. That way, you guys can be up to date on some of the latest new music in the atmosphere, and you guys can also send me some of your music as well, and you will get Mr. TALIAFERRO'S first reaction to your record, for good or for bad, or an artist that we talk about on my platform's music, for good or for bad. Again, follow me on Instagram, Mr. TALIAFERRO TV. Again, that's Mr. TALIAFERRO TV, and you get more of yours truly.